Hello and welcome back to Oak Health, the lifestyle program out here in Foothill Ranch, California. Thank you all for joining me today. My name is Mona Cabrera and I'm the Registered Dietitian here at the lifestyle program. If you are ever in the neighborhood here, please come into our building, our facility, and take a tour. Check us out. We do have a full facility and we have tons of things going on in this room. Most days of the week, maybe you saw we added a new class yesterday. It was Mindfulness Mondays, and that is at 12 o'clock. We also have exercise classes in the morning with Rebecca, from boot camp to stability and core to cardio classes. So there's a lot going on. Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, I have a nutrition topic. And then on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, I do a healthy, easy cooking demonstration here in this room. So we have a lot of fun stuff for you here. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, or you're a new viewer, hit the bell below and you'll get notifications when we're coming on live and you won't miss a thing. If you like something, hit the save button so that will go into your library. Our playlist on the Hope Health is titled Healthy Lifestyle for the classes that I just mentioned. So thanks for joining me again on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. It's like the perfect weather, right? But I heard we're having a heat wave soon, so let's really enjoy today while it lasts, right? So today we are talking about macronutrients. I have the YouTube close to me, so if you have any questions, I can see them here. Just put those in the live chat, and I should be able to see those. And I have a lot of regular viewers, but if you're new here, let me know where you're watching from. And if you are a regular viewer, say hi. I'd like to see who's watching here. So let's talk about macronutrients. You've probably heard this word before. Maybe you've heard macro counting and was curious about that. So we're going to talk about macronutrients because there's a lot to talk about. If we went into macro counting and things like that. But I want to give you a little information about what these macros are and why they're important and what foods you can find them in. So macros, meaning a large molecule. So they are large molecules. There are 3 macronutrients we get from our food. They provide us the nutrients for energy. So they all work together to help us function and really perform our essential processes. So the 3, the carbohydrates, fats, and protein, just listed in no particular order at all because they're all very important. So carbs, protein, and fat. So these are large molecules that get broken down into our body so then we can use them for energy. And the primary source of energy for our body are the carbohydrates. And so those can be from sugars, fibers, starches. They're found in fruits, vegetables, grains, milk products. And they're necessary for our health and to fuel our activity. Carbohydrates do get broken down into sugars and provide 4 calories per gram. Protein, 4 calories per gram. And fats, 9 calories per gram. So you can see fats give us a little bit more calories, a little bit more energy per gram. So these are all necessarily and work together. Carbs get a bad rap. You've probably heard in the news, right? They're good, they're demonized, then they're not. It's sort of confusing. So if anyone's ever told you that you don't need any carbohydrates, go running for the hills, right? Not true at all. What can get you into trouble with the carbohydrates are the overly processed foods, the carbohydrates that are overly processed. So for example, your cookies, cakes, white bread, things like that, okay? Overly processed. And then underdo the fibrous carbs. Which ones are those? Those are your whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, and they're gonna give you the fiber. And we need a lot of fiber. Most people walk around not getting their daily requirements for fiber. And for women, it's about 25 grams, and for men, it's about 38 grams per day. So if you eat a diet high in fruits and vegetables and whole grains, you tend to get enough fiber. But like I said, we get into trouble when we rely on the overly processed carbohydrates. Those bagels, breads, cakes, cookies in the office, donuts in the office for breakfast, that type of thing. So, our needs for carbohydrates is going to greatly differ between individual. It can be even an individual that's the same age, same sex. Everyone is so individual, everyone is so different, so there's no number to throw out there like, oh, you need 60% of your diet from carbs, or 50% of your diet from carbs, or 40%. It's very individual based on, for example, your age, your sex, your activity level, your height, your weight, your goals, your hormones, and your health. So a lot of factors are going to affect the amount that you need. Okay, carbohydrates are very important. You may not know some of the importance of them, so I'm going to go over them briefly here. Number one is for hormone function. For our hormones to function properly, we do need adequate amounts of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are important for fueling our performance and recovery from our performance. Maybe you have some very active children. You know, their needs for carbohydrates are so much higher than, let's say, somebody in their 30s, right? So the carbohydrates are going to vary between everybody so much. Carbohydrates are very important for brain function, for our thyroid to function properly, and that's a big one, right? Digestion, because of the fiber, we need that, and we're going to get it from the carbohydrates. And it's our source of energy, carbohydrates. So like I said, carbohydrates are found in so many foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, dairy products. So they're in lots of foods, right? Beans, legumes, they're found in most foods, some higher than others. Quinoa, oats, rice, your vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, and your starchy vegetables like potatoes and your root veggies, honey, agave. These are also, sugars, carbohydrates. So, and they're found everywhere. And so it's very easy, to eat them, and also to overconsume them, especially if we are relying on those processed carbohydrates. So that is briefly carbohydrates. There's so much about carbohydrates, but carbohydrates is our main fuel for our brain. So we do need carbohydrates. Oftentimes when we're trying to lose weight and we've cut back too much on carbohydrates, sometimes we don't feel good, we feel sluggish. And it really depends on the sources of carbohydrates that we're choosing. So I do encourage your carbohydrates coming from whole foods, whether it's beans, legumes, whole grains, vegetables, and fruits. There's a lot of sources of carbohydrates. So I'm going to move on to protein now. Second, I didn't list them in any particular order, just pick them. So our protein, you've probably heard a lot about, right? So protein also provides 4 calories per gram, just like our carbohydrates. And protein is also a source of energy, but our body prefers to use fat and carbohydrates for energy. So the protein, it has so many roles in our body. It provides that structure and support for our cells. Protein is broken down by our body, and there are 20 essential amino acids. So the protein is broken down into amino acids. Those are the smaller compounds, chemical structures, and you've probably heard about your amino acids. And so let's talk about some of the benefits of protein. And again, it's just like carbohydrates. Everybody's individual. You can't just say this is how much protein we need, right? It's very specific. But I do encourage protein at every meal, and we will talk about why. So the benefits of protein, why do we need them, right? What do they do for our body? So they are going to repair and heal our body tissues. So let's say for a workout, you're breaking down muscle tissue. Protein is very important to repair that tissue. Maybe you had a surgery, any kind of surgery to repair. Those cells need protein. The protein is what is going to repair. Maybe just even like a cut. You know, all what's going on there is that we need protein to repair the skin cells. All those cells right there are repairing. So protein is really important for recovery and repair. It allows for our metabolic reactions to take place. It coordinates our bodily functions. It helps because enzymes are protein molecules. Maybe you've heard about like digestive enzymes. These are protein molecules, and they aid in our chemical reactions inside our cells, outside our cells. So we need protein for all these things to happen. Enzymes are also important for like muscle contraction, energy production. They're involved in everything, really, right? So even like our digestion relies on these proteins. These are enzymes. Blood clotting relies on proteins. One example of a protein is insulin. So, a hormone is insulin, and it needs protein to make this hormone. So our hormone health is very reliant on protein. What else was I going to say about the protein? Oh yeah, protein, for example, also helps like our immune function. Protein, the antibodies are made from protein. So it's going to help bolster our immune health. Proteins also help transport and store nutrients in our body. So they're transporting, for example, they absorb vitamins and minerals and transport them in our cells. So they help with that blood sugar control, also cholesterol, and also oxygen. Hemoglobin, for example, is a protein that carries the oxygen from our lungs to our body. So you can see how proteins are very important with those hormones, those enzymes, a lot of chemical reactions occurring in our body. We're going to rely on those protein. Studies have also shown with protein that it's the most filling macronutrient. So what does that mean? It helps keep us full longer with less food, okay? So that's why I really encourage protein at each meal, because it's going to help with that satiety. Protein does reduce our hunger hormone, ghrelin, and does increase a peptide called YY, and that's a hormone that makes us feel full. So it's really important. And studies have shown that. So also when you're trying to lose weight, we have a lot of patients here in the lifestyle program that are working on their body composition, really trying to reduce fat mass and increase muscle mass. And to do that without losing muscle mass and reducing calories a little bit, we have to keep up that protein intake. And that will help prevent muscle loss when they're trying to lose weight, okay? If you're physically active and you're lifting weights and you're trying to gain muscle, whether you are 18 years old or 75 years old, we need to make sure we're getting enough protein to sustain any muscle mass we have, and then to build the muscle, more muscle that we're trying to do by strength training, or even just keeping the muscle we have. So it's very important. And protein seems to be, from working with so many patients over the years, that as we age and we get older, it's one of the macronutrients that we don't crave as much, okay? I don't know if you've noticed that, but yeah, it seems to be the hardest one. And I do encourage getting protein from whole foods. So, you know, getting it from your fish, getting it from poultry, maybe you're having some red meat, eggs, legumes, beans, game, dairy products, tofu, tempeh, edamame beans, a lot of eggs, a lot of sources of protein. Some people do use protein supplements, but I don't encourage that to be the main source of protein. These protein supplements are called supplements because we should keep them as a supplement and really focus on the whole foods. But they do come in handy for a quick meal replacement or a quick snack. Somebody's blending up a protein powder with some vegetables and fruits and making a quick shake for afternoon snack, for example. So those protein supplements do have their play and their part in a healthy diet, but I do encourage getting most of your protein from whole foods, like I mentioned, these sources. So also, one thing I'm going to mention about protein is that protein also decreases our cravings for the desire for like late night snacking. So if you consume protein at your meals regularly, it will help with that late night snacking. And oftentimes that late night snacking is a barrier for patients when they're trying to lose weight, because we just end up eating too many calories and we can't get into that calorie deficit. And we're more insulin resistant at night, so the body wants to go to bed and sleep and repair versus digest food and using that energy. So it does help with the sugar cravings. I talked about protein helping like after an injury or a surgery. The other thing is, as we age, it's going to help you stay fit and help bone health significantly. So as we age, it does help us stay fit and keep that muscle mass that we have. So let's stop here and see if there's any questions. Okay, don't see any questions. Don't be shy. I really want to answer anything that's sitting on your mind that you want to know about these macronutrients. Okay, the third, the fat. We love fat, but we keep hearing in the news or the social media, it's praised, it's demonized, it's praised again, or keto diet, or not the keto diet. So what about the fats, right? So fat is one of our macronutrients. They get broken down into essential fatty acids. And the thing about fats, I want you just to focus more on the quality of your fats, okay? So fats are very important. They do help our body digest and absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are absorbed when we have healthy fats. They do give us energy, they regulate our hormones, and they provide a lot of satiation when we have a healthy fat at our meal. Let's see what else about fats. It's a hormone regulator, that's really important, and really insulate our organs. So it is a protective barrier to protect our organs, and they're delicious, right? So it's very important to include fats in your meals. So what are our healthy fats, right? We got our avocados, it's my favorite. We got olives, extra virgin olive oil, our nuts and seeds, and our nut butters, and our seed butters. We have some fats in our fatty fish. And then let's see what else. Did I name them all? Then there's some cheese and some dairy products with fats. But yeah, so definitely, like for example, if you notice you have a salad, big salad with some chicken breast on it and a light dressing. You might eat that and enjoy it, but you'll see that you didn't stay full for that long. But let's say you put half an avocado on that salad, how much happier you were with that salad and how much longer you felt full, right? It's going to carry you over. And so many, the benefits from these fats. So it's really important, especially, you know, a lot of people suffer from hormone regulation and satiety. We feel hungry all the time, especially if somebody's trying to lose weight. And that's the last thing we want to feel is hungry when we're trying to work on our body composition. And so those fats are really important, and really absorbing vitamin A, D, E, and K. So really important vitamins, right? There's a question here, so let me see what we got. I'm trying to avoid red meat, but should I eat 1 to 2 times a week to help with energy? Not necessarily. So you can avoid red meat and still have energy. There might be other reasons why you're not having energy. You know, blood work is really important. Maybe you are low in iron, but that's just one reason why. Energy can be from so many, you know, sleep, not eating enough food, not eating regularly, not eating enough healthy fats, not eating enough protein at meals. I mean, our energy levels are really dependent on so many things. So it is a big puzzle to work on. So you can't really say eat red meat, you're going to have energy. No. Red meat is higher in saturated fats. So it just depends if, you know, it's very individualized, but I wouldn't say eat red meat for more energy. No, that's not really. I would have to look at the whole picture, but great question. So in terms of all the macronutrients, it's really important. What I suggest is, like, they do have a synergistic effect when they're eaten together. So I do encourage meals to include all 3, and then snacks to include 2 macronutrients. So your snack is going to be filling and going to carry you over to your next meal. So have 2 macronutrients. For example, for a snack, what's a healthy snack, right? It could be an apple and a string cheese, an apple and a tablespoon or 2 of peanut butter. It could be an apple and a handful of nuts. Some people, it's a boiled egg and raw carrots. So you can see there's 2 macronutrients. So an egg is going to be your protein and fat. So it does have both. A lot of foods have 2 macros or 3 macronutrients in them. So your egg is going to have mostly your protein and fats. And then let's say you have baby carrots, that would be your carbohydrates, high in fiber. So when those 2 are combined for a snack, let's say for the afternoon, it's going to carry you over versus if you just had carrots. I mean, if you have carrots alone, you're still looking for something filling, right? So that's where the fat and the protein from the egg, they're going to fill you up. It's going to help keep you satiated. And also, it's a good source of protein. And that combination is not going to spike your blood sugar if you're trying to stabilize blood sugars. And really stabilizing your blood sugar is going to stabilize your appetite throughout the day. So very important. So, so in terms of all the macronutrients, like I was saying, you know, having all 3 at your meal, so you do have this healthy, balanced meal, and having 2 in your snacks would be ideal. So it does serve as a healthy snack to tie you over to your next meal. So take more questions now. That was basically what I wanted to talk to you about today. I wasn't here to talk about macro counting. That's a whole nother, you know, topic. Some people find that that's helpful if they're not able to reach their health goals, or they're in a weight loss plateau. Then they dig deeper into their macros and see what's going on. But I wanted you to know today about these macronutrients and the differences and how important all of them are, and what sources of foods that we get them from and the roles that they have. And it's just really important to stabilize our blood sugar throughout the day with regular meals that have carbohydrates and protein and fats. So we are satiated, and we get the health benefits from all of these macronutrients. So that's it. I want to thank you all for joining today. Please put your questions in the chat. I'm happy to stay on here for a few more minutes and answer those for you. Quiet group today. I don't see any questions. I will be here tomorrow making something sweet for, it's an Easter related dessert, something sweet, and it's easy and fast, and it's a healthy twist on a sweet dessert that we typically like to have at Easter time, and kids, and if you're having a gathering with family and friends, it's a great one to have, and it's easy and healthy and low in sugar. So that will be tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I hope you guys can join me here. And I want to thank you guys for asking, putting any of your questions and any comments. And I'm going to sign off because I don't see any other questions. I hope I answered your question about the red meat. Okay, so no more questions. We're going to be logging off here, and every other Tuesday is nutrition topic. So I'm going to thank you guys all for joining me today, and I will hopefully see you all tomorrow. Everything's recorded and stays saved on our playlist, so if you miss anything, you know, maybe you can't join me at 2 o'clock for the cooking demonstration, just check it in the evening, and it's going to be there, saved and recorded at 2 o'clock here in Foothill Ranch. So if you're ever here at Hogue in Foothill Ranch, California, please stop in the lifestyle program here. We have a full facility from urgent care to pediatrics to gynecology, women's health, to family practice, to radiology, and the lifestyle program. So we have it all here. So please stop in. Love to meet you all. And you guys enjoy your day and stay hydrated, because tomorrow's going to heat up to, I think, 90 or 95 here. So let's start drinking more water today to get a jump on that. And thank you guys so much. You guys have a great day.